Hi everyone, good morning. This is your very own Yobo for Christ. Hey, listen, to my kings and my queens, I have a message for you. Yes, you king, you are included too. All right, I have a message for you. This is gonna blow your mind. At the end of this video, you are going to look straight into the eyes of that bastard devil and say, you can't torment me anymore. I refuse to live in fear. I'm no longer a slave to fear. My king, don't show. Another decree has been made. I know better. You can't frustrate me and keep me stuck in chapter 4. Chapter 4. I'm going to tell you something about the number 4. Listen, darling. Last night when I got home from church, I was preparing dinner and the Holy Spirit brought the song back into my mind. He gave me the song like 2 years ago, The Balm of Gilead. So from nowhere, I started singing it, The Balm of Gilead. And then I was hearing the voice, the Balm of Gilead is a healer. So I started hearing this voice, Talita Kumi, Talita Kumi. I was like, Talita Kumi. That's what Christ said to the little girl, Talita Kumi. I was like, okay, maybe the Holy Spirit is giving me another piece of that song because that's how I get my songs. I get them in pieces. You know, I don't just sit down and begin to write. I wait for the Holy Spirit to give me the song before I'll go and actually bring out that song. So I was actually excited that, oh, God is giving me the other piece of that song. So I was trying to write a song, to compose the song in my head, preparing my dinner. But it wasn't really coming. So for me to force it, I knew that that's not what God is saying. With this Balm of Gilead and Talita Kumi, I'm a healer. And I'm telling you right now, rise up and walk. So I was trying to put the pieces together. I couldn't. I prayed that night and went to bed around 11. And then I woke up. I set my alarm because I was troubled in my mind. Like, what is God saying? I set my alarm for 1 a.m. I woke up to pray. I practically dragged myself out. I was praying. I kept hearing that voice, Talita Kumi, Talita Kumi. So after I finished praying, I went back to bed. I packed my bag last night to go to the gym this morning. I was ready last night that this morning I'm going to head to the gym. And then the Holy Spirit woke me up this morning and said, go back to the book of Ezra. Go and read the whole of Ezra. I need to show you something there. And then I pick up my Bible. I forgot that word last night. I pick up my Bible and I went to the book of Ezra. The book of Ezra, when God used King Cyrus to deliver the children of God from the captivity, from Babylon, when Nebuchadnezzar held them captive, King Cyrus was used to deliver them and brought them back from exile. And then he gave them instruction to build the temple, to rebuild the temple of the Lord. So he gave them mandates. He gave them permission to go and build the temple. And they went all together. They started building the temple. In chapter 3, let me tell you what happened. In chapter 3, when the foundation was laid, they were happy, praising God that the foundation has been laid. Now we're about to build and everything. Even though they were afraid, they were scared of the people around them, but they started building. They laid the foundation. The Bible said in Ezra 3 verse 12, it said, but many of the older priests and Levites and family heads who had seen the former temple wept aloud when they saw the foundation of this temple being laid, while many others shouted for joy. So some of the elders, you know them, haters, those people that don't really want you to move forward, when they saw that the foundation was being laid, because they saw the temple before, they saw that this one that they are rebuilding now is going to be more stronger than the one that was before. The one that was destroyed before. This one is going to be more stronger. He said they shouted and they were scared. They were scared and they tried to stop the children of God from building. Okay? Now we're going to go to chapter 4. We are moving from 3 to 4. He said, when the enemies of Judah and Benjamin heard that the exiles were building a temple for the Lord, the God of Israel, they came to Zerubbabel and to the head of the families and said, let us help you build, because like you, we seek your God and have been sacrificing to him since the time of Esarhaddon, king of Assyria, who brought us here. But Zerubbabel, Yeshua, and the rest of the head of the family of Israel answered, you have no part with us building in the temple of our God. We alone we build it for the Lord, the God of Israel, as King Cyrus, the king of Persia, commanded us. He said, then the people around them set out to discourage the people of Judah and make them afraid to go on building. Verse 5. 4 verse 5. Babe, you can't afford to shut up. You can't afford to be confused. In chapter 4, no, darling. No, darling, that's when they come. Verse 5 of that chapter 4, it said they hired counselors to work against them and frustrate their plans during the entire reign of Cyrus, king of Persia, and down to the reign of Darius, king of Persia. So, they hired counselors. They hired people. It was a contract that was given. They hired people to try to stop them, to try to confuse them, to try to intimidate them, to make them afraid. And in verse 6, okay, now let's go to verse 6. It said, at the beginning of the reign of Caesar, they lodged an accusation against the people of Judah. Verse 6, after they tried everything, they came up with an accusation. And they went to meet the king. They went to meet the king and say, king, these people have come to build, oh, you can't allow them to build. Long story short, the king made a decree and he said to them, go and read this decree to them. Tell them to stop building because of the accusation that was laid by the people. Tell them to stop building. And the Bible said the children of God were compelled to stop building. And that work was laid at rest. Karabosh kata. I said, why? I said, why? And I started praying. And the Holy Spirit, I was praying in tongue, and the Holy Spirit said to me, go and find out the meaning of the number 4. Find out the meaning of number 4. So I went to Google. Hey, thank God for Google. Thank God for Google. Stay with me, darling. Stay with me. I went to Google and I was like, because I kept hearing that voice. Go and find out the meaning of number 4. And I went to do my finders. And this is what I discovered. Number 4 is the number that represents the 4 elements of air, fire, water, and earth. And the 4 sacred direction, the north, the south, the east, and the west. That's 1. And 2, it said the numerology number 4 is a conspicuous number with a focus on a long-term security. The number 4 is a number of focus. A focus on building a secure foundation for the future. It can be a lot of work. Hold on, stay with me, darling. He said the number 4, another one said, is about putting all the pieces together. We're talking about chapter 4 of your life. It's about putting all the pieces together. It is a builder's number. It's a people with a life path number 4 are the worker bees of society. If your life path is a 4, you are a determined, practical, and hardworking. Down to earth is a term that is probably often used to describe you. Stay with me. I went further. He said the science of studying the numbers mentioned in Bible is known as biblical of number 2. So it also marked the material completeness, which is a kind of wholeness as mentioned in the Bible. It said in the Bible, there are 4 gospels, which were Matthew, Luke, John, and Mark. Stay with me. We're talking about chapter 4 of your life, girl. And then the last one. No, wait. There's one more. It said the number 4 is the number of being. The number of existence. It is the number that connects mind, body, spirit with the physical world of structure and organization. 4 symbolizes the safety and security of home, the need for stability and strength on a solid foundation of values and belief. Stay with me. The last one. It's a number 4 life's path. Compatibility and destiny meaning with 4 sides of the same size. With 4 sides of the same size. A square has no weak point. It is organized, solid, enduring. In the spiritual significance of number, this is the foundation. Number 4 has been built to last. Listen, darling. Chapter 4. That was when the enemy came and made the king to write a decree that stopped the children of God from building. My question to you, darling, are you going to stop in number 4? They were compelled to stop building. Where were they in chapter 1? Where were they when they were kept in Elza for 70 years in Babylon? Where were they when the king Cyrus brought them? Where were they when the decree was made for them to start building? No, where were they when they were suffering all this while? No, I'm asking you, darling. This time they came because the foundation was laid. When all those things were being put in place, they didn't show up. They didn't rise up. Not until the foundation was laid. And they saw that this is a serious matter. These people are set out to build. That was when they came up with all those lies, accusation. I want to join you to build, whereas they just want to come in and scatter. But listen, child of God, in chapter 5, Karabosh Kaya, listen, don't stay in chapter 4, because chapter 4 is you are supposed to be. It is a number in your life right now. That number 4 is a place where everything has been given to you. The north, the south, the west, and the east. The 4 seasons. That you got all it takes for you to do this thing right now. But because of fear, because of the lies, because of the accusation, because of the divorce, because of the backstabbing, because of lack of finance, you have been stuck. Darling, you have been stuck in chapter 4. But it's the season where God is putting so much in you, even in the midst of all this accusation, even in the midst of all these battles. Number 4 is the number of stability. When the enemy sees that you are building something, you are building security for yourself, that you've risen up again after all those years of bondage, after captivity, after being freed from captivity. Now you finally rose up and you are building something for yourself. They come in chapter 4 and they try to stop you with the lies. They try to stop you with all sort of things. But darling, I'm encouraging you today. I double dare you. Don't you dare stay in chapter 4. Listen and follow me to chapter 5. The number of grace. Karaboshata. This morning, I was jumping and I got up. I said, devil, you are a bastard. Devil, you are a bastard. You can't keep me in number 4. I got all it takes for me to proceed to number 5. Number 5 in chapter 5 is the number of grace. Grace is going to do this time. Zerubbabel, he rose again. Chapter 5. Listen, follow me. Don't mind me. I need to pass this message to you. I see the hot now, everywhere red. Darling, it's a lie of the devil that want to keep you stuck in chapter 4. Babe, shine your eyes. Chapter 5. Now, it says, now Haggai the prophet and Zechariah the prophets. This time grace was involved and the prophets were involved. I know they tell you that prophets are this, pastors are fake, these are that, but God uses them. God still uses them to bless you. The real ones, they are out there. Locate your prophet and locate your pastor. Locate your mentor, darling, because God uses them to bless you, to get you to your place of rest. When they move to chapter 5, the number of grace, mind you, chapter 4, they compared them to stop. They compared them to stop, and the work was laid to rest. The place where you've given up, and grace is coming to knock. And it's saying to me, I put all the pieces together. Talitha Kumi, little girl, rise up and walk. The balm of Gilead is here. I am a healer. I have come to heal. You have to rise up and walk. You have to cross over from 4 to 5. He said, then Haggai the prophet and Zechariah the prophet, they came, they prophesied to the Jews in the name of the God of Israel, who was over them. Then Zerubbabel, after the prophecy, Rabakaye Marundaye, then Zerubbabel, son of, let me just put like this, Zerubbabel and Yeshua, they set out to rebuild the temple. They didn't go to ask permission again. When the prophet spoke, when the 2 prophets came and spoke, Haggai and Zechariah, when they came and they spoke and said, oh yeah, this is what God has said. Why are you stuck in chapter 4? This is the season of grace. Rise up and build. They didn't go back to ask that stupid king that came after Cyrus. What's his name? Cyrus, don't know what is his name. They didn't go and ask him again, should we build? They didn't go and ask from the haters, should we build? What should we do now? No, when the prophecy came, they took the prophecy and they ran with it. And they started building without having to bother what people will say. They started building. And guess what? Another enemy rose again. This time, wait. Tanzania. Hey. He came and he said to them, why are you building? Why are you building? Who gave you permission to build rebuild this temple? They answered him and said, God, we are the servant of the living God, and we have come to build this temple. The king wrote a letter. Tatiana wrote a letter to the king again. This time, another king showed. Another king has come. That king was not operating this time anymore. It was King Darius that now came to power. So they wrote a letter again to the king. They wrote it up again and said, no, this time we're going to stop them again. But number 5 was working. Grace was at work. And God has surrounded them with prophets. They were with them. The Bible said the prophets were helping them. Go and read it for yourself. I'm not babbling my own words. The prophet was with them, helping them, and the hand of the Lord was upon them. So they wrote a letter to the king, Darius, and said, these people, they've started building. They need to stop this building. Blah, 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 blah. And now the prophet, the elders, they spoke. In chapter 4, when they wrote letter before to King Xerxes, I don't know what's his name, how to pronounce it. Don't mind me. When they wrote letter to that king, the children of God they didn't speak back. They closed their mouth. A closed mouth is a closed destiny. They compelled them to stop. They didn't respond back. But this time, when the enemy showed up again, Zerubbabel said, wait now. I have the backing of the prophets. I have the backing of Jehovah. God has assigned this one. And there is a spiritual backing. I am going to open my mouth and speak. And then he said back to the king and said, wait, you've written your letter. Wait, let me write mine. Let me compose my own to the king. I am going to speak for my people. Let me read this to you. Wait a minute. However, okay. Wait, I need to read this. The king shall give them a man named, take this. Okay. All right, verse 11, 5 verse 11. It said, this is the answer they gave us. We are the servants of God of heaven and earth, and we are rebuilding the temple that was built many years ago. One that a great king of Israel rebuilt and finished. But because of our fathers' anger, the God of heaven, he handed them over to Nebuchadnezzar, the Chaldean, king of Babylon, who destroyed this temple and deported the people to Babylon. He said, however, this is where I'm going to, verse 13. He said, Ezra 5 verse 13. He said, however, in the first year of Cyrus, king of Babylon, King Cyrus issued a decree to rebuild the house of God. However, now listen to me, follow me closely. So when the the letter was written to Darius, and expecting the king again to write another decree to stop the children of God, they answered and said, wait a minute. There was something that was written before that king that came in between came. There was something that was written by Cyrus. This is how it happened, how God brought us. Yes, we sinned. Yes, we lost it. But however, God sent a king to deliver us. And he gave a decree for us to build. However, yes, I know you said I'm an ex-prostitute. I know you said I'm a prostitute. I know you said I'm a son of a prostitute. I know you said I'm a fornicator. I know you said you know me as an adulterous woman. I know you say I'm a thief. You remembered me when I had 2 children for different men. You remember me when I have 4 children for different men. It doesn't matter how you remember me. Before you start saying, yes, is it not you? Is it not you the prostitute? Is it not you the ex-prostitute? Is it not you this? Is it not you that? Me, I'm telling you myself already. They said, listen, yes, we angered the Lord, and the Lord gave us over to Nebuchadnezzar. He said, but however, we are in chapter 5. Grace showed up for us, and God allowed the king, Cyrus, to come and deliver us. And they brought us, and the decree was made. That was how we started building. He said, now, king, go back to that Akif and check if there was not something that was written so like this. And the king ordered them, and they brought out the book, and they brought out the book in chapter 6. The king ordered them. They moved from chapter 5 to chapter 6. Number 6, the number of man. Kabade, the number of man, imperfection of man. Even with the imperfect, God will use that imperfect thing to perfect your life. They moved to chapter 6. God used another king. God used King Darius and said, wait a minute, let me go and dig further. He passed. He bypassed. He's the God of John protocol. He bypassed the rule. He bypassed the one that was written by that wicked king. And he went down and checked. And he went down to the foundation. And he saw the one that Cyrus wrote. And he said, this was the instruction that was given. He brought it back, dusted it, and said, the file has been opened. We're going to rebuild. Or I'm going to give them a direction to build. And the best thing about it is he decreed and he wrote a new law that said we should pay them. We should pay them from the palace, from the wealth of the palace. We should pay these people for rebuilding this temple. Listen, darling, I don't care what you're going through. I don't care how they describe you. I don't care how they've arrange your life that this is how it's supposed to be. I don't care who intimidated you and made you get off your track. Listen, my dear, when you were in chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, before you got to chapter 4, where were they? I'm asking you a question. Now that you've risen up and you said, I want to build in chapter 4, they know now that you're focused. They know that you're about to pick up the pieces together. They know you're about to do something. You're about to build something that's going to last. They know that you're about to get some sense and brain in your head and begin to do things rightly. They've risen up with every accusation. They've risen up with everything to stop you. It's a lie of the devil. The devil is a bastard. You are going to tell them, I'm going to move from chapter 4. I'm moving to chapter 5. From chapter 5, God is going to take me with grace and He's going to connect me with men. He's going to connect me with men. Chapter 6, the number of men. He's going to connect me with great men and women. Even if you think I'm not perfect, even if you think I'm not worthy, I don't deserve this thing, but I am the imperfect one. And God is going to use also the imperfect one. He's a man that God will use to bless a man. God is not coming from up. Chapter 6, God sent the king. That's why I say my king don't show. Babe, my king, he don't show. If you close your mouth, you close your destiny. When the first letter was written, they did not speak out. That was why they were compared. They didn't say, this is my right. This is what I know. It's the blood of Christ that was shed for me, not your blood. Yes, I know that I am an ex-prostitute. Yes, I know that my mother is a prostitute. Yes, I know that my father is a juju man. You know that I come from a family that they do havoc. Yes, I have children for 4 different men. It doesn't matter the accusation, how they know you. Girl, you have to tell them, that is the me you used to know. Grace is speaking for me now. Grace, God moved me to chapter 4. And here you try to stop me, but I'm crossing over. I'm going to wake up. Talita Kuma, get up, get up, get up, get up, darling. Get up from that place where they've kept you stuck. Get up, because God is sending another king in this season. In chapter 5, God is bringing another king. God is removing that wicked one, and it's bringing a new one, darling. It's a new season. It's a new dawn. Don't you dare get stuck. Rise up. Pick up the pieces. Number 4 is the number where you pick up the pieces together and say, listen, I'm packing my bag from 4 to 5 because I don't want to do this alone. I can't do this alone this time. Locate your prophet. Locate your prophet. Don't let nobody fool you, girl. Locate your prophet. Locate your pastor. Be at the service of God. I mean, avail yourself to be used in the house of God. Pack your bag from chapter 4 and we are heading to chapter 5. From chapter 5, God is pushing you to chapter 6, where He's going to send men, where He's going to send great women, where He's going to send people into your life to rewrite your story. Listen, girl, if it's your life, it's your right. I'm a testimony. I'm telling you, a word for one is a word for all. This is the Rhema word that God gave me this morning. From last night, I've been restless. And this morning, I finally put the pieces together. And I'm saying to myself, the balm of Gilead has come. The balm of Gilead is here right now to set you loose. If you would dare to lay it all at His throne, if you would dare to release yourself, I don't care the hurt. I've been there, darling. That's what I'm telling you. I have been there in that place where I thought I'm going to die. And God is saying to me today again, the balm of Gilead, I am here. Whatever it is that is hurting, whatever it is that they've done, Whatever it is that has kept you stuck is a lie of the devil. In the midst of your pain, in the midst of your confusion, darling, you have to rise up, because God is saying, Talita Kumi, it's not the time for you to be confused. It's a season where you have to move. Pack your bag. Pack your bag. You've been stuck long enough. They've kept you stuck long enough. But this time you got to pack your bag. We're heading to number 5. We're heading to the season of grace, where God is going to send you prophets, where God is going to send you a pastor after his own heart, where God is going to send you mentor, people that matter. That's why it's important. The people you listen to, the people you follow, the people you stay under their grace. It is very important, because they will help you. They will help you. They will carry you along. They will build your confidence. Zerubbabel stopped the work in chapter 4. But when he came to chapter 5, he said, oh no, this time I'm not going alone. I'm going with the prophet. I'm going with the backing of the word of the Lord. And yes, he went ahead and he built the temple, and he opened his mouth wide and spoke and said, God has made a decree. God has made a decree. And something that was said concerning this building. That is why we have risen again, and we say we're going to build. We're going to build. We're going to build. It doesn't matter what you're saying. It doesn't matter how you've concluded this case. I'm going to build. You get out of my way, devil. Get out of my way. I don't care how many people they've assigned to lie against you, to conspire against you. Darling, it is a lie of the devil to keep you stuck in number 4. Get over yourself. Pack your bag and locate your prophet. And when the prophecy is being released, take it and run. Take it and run with it. Run with it and start doing something. Step out. When the prophecy was released, they didn't say, okay, now we're going to sit back and the temple is going to build itself. No, Zerubbabel rose up and said, the prophet have spoken. The prophet have spoken. God has released a word through the prophet. And this time I'm going to act, because now we're in chapter 5, darling. Grace is speaking for me. This is not me doing it again on my own. This is not me doing it again all trembling. Oh yes, I'm afraid. Yes, I don't see a way out. But one thing I know, grace has come. Grace has come. The balm of Gilead is healing every wound. The balm of Gilead is saying to me, rise up and walk. So I'm going to walk. Get off my way. You look straight into the eyes of that bastard devil and say, devil, you're a bastard. I mean, you are a damn bastard. It's time for me to build. Nobody's going to get me stuck. Nobody's going to get me stuck. I know my story, and I'm using it to encourage you. You alone know where you're coming from. You alone know what you've been through. After all those years, after all those suffer, after all those pain, you're going to let them keep you stuck? Hell no. The devil is a bastard. A lie from the pit of hell. It is your time and your season to shine. Girl, let nobody fool you. Let nobody tell you otherwise. Don't let nobody make you feel otherwise. King whatever or king no whatever. I don't care to know who your name is. I don't care to know who you are. The name that they've given you is none of my business. I'm looking you straight into your eyes, and I'm telling you, to everyone that said, I can't do it, they thought you're going to stay stuck here. You're going to look them and tell them, chapter 4 is enough. It's enough. I've dwelled here enough. I'm crossing over to chapter 5. You're a queen. Let nobody push you out of your spot. Don't let them tell you otherwise, because they're still operating from the last information they have about you. But you step over to chapter 5. Your season of grace. Your season to arise and shine. Girl, pick up the pieces and start building again. Start building again. Dare to love again. Dare to go back to school. Dare to take up that new challenge. Dare to take up that new opportunity. Dare to remarry if you want to. Nobody should make you feel guilty. There is life after that thing. Dare to open up yourself again for new possibilities. Whatever you need to do in this season, if it means you taking a job of being a cleaner, do it. Do it to get to the place where you need to be right now, darling. If it's your life, it's your right. What do you care what they say? Grace is at work. Whatever you do in this season of grace, be sensitive. It's going to work. If you work it, it's going to work. Girl, and nobody fool you or tell you otherwise. You're a queen. I love you. You're very, very honorable for Christ. Bye. Shalom.